Pisces, I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip, and we are going to be looking at what's coming in for you with this lunar cycle that will be kicked off with your blue supermoon on August 31st. A lot of interesting energies coming into play, and we're just going to see what's in store for you. Hope you're enjoying this interesting energy we're diving into here. It's very mutable right now. There's a lot of interesting action happening. We got 5 planets in retrograde currently, so that's adding some unusual elements to the mix. I got a lot of nostalgia in your energy, Pisces. I got a lot of childhood memories coming up for you, things of the past. Sweet spots from the past, sweet memories, mementos of the past. Your teenage self. There's something you're looking at here in matters of the heart, in matters of emotional vulnerability. It stems from your teenage years. Might be looking back on an old love. This might be something that's in your consciousness right now. Maybe the one who got away. We got these cards wanted to come out, so I'm going to take those. Okay, let's see what these are right here. Yes, we have you know, sort of daydreaming about days gone by. That's what I got. Days gone by. Maybe even that song means something to you in connection with this person. I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the comments, okay? Pin it there for you all so you can drop in with that song. Yeah, you know, I think you're just daydreaming, fantasizing. It's something you already moved away from, this situation here, but you've been thinking about it. You might even be expressing some old grief that you've been holding on to for too long. Do you notice this? Look. There's like a mother and a child going forward in this barge here, all right? It gives me the feeling almost like you're sitting with your inner child. You're sitting with your younger self. I'm getting your teenage self, and you're processing some pain in association with this. Yes. It's something that you brought forward with you. You haven't shed this yet, but you're in the process of releasing this. You're in the process of letting this go. And I feel you really here, like being so loving and so tender with this young part of yourself. As you're, you know, sort of like, I feel like you're letting something that's sort of been held over you in your consciousness. It's related to the time of your teenage years, I feel very strongly. I'm feeling teen years so strongly. And it's something that's just kind of always been with you. And there's something you're letting go of here. And it's almost like you're holding space, like a reverence around this letting go. I feel like it has to do with an emotional tenderness around somebody that you have a deep, you know, affinity, love for from your past. And maybe there's a lot of pain associated with this person as well. And I just got shame. Interesting. Shame too. And so there's some part of you that is like guiding that teenage self through this sense of shame, and being there, like sort of like holding space for your younger self, allowing this part of you to grieve and let go and to feel all this. I got turbulent emotions. It's like it has a turbulence to it. You might have even been communicating a lot of this recently, maybe even just to yourself. Maybe you've been writing about it. Maybe you've been singing about it. Maybe you've been talking about it with somebody you really trust. Maybe a lot of barbed words coming out. I got like this sharpness, the sharp edge of the truth, you know, of maybe feelings that you haven't really acknowledged before that you had, okay? But there is some letting go, release process that you're going through here. And I think this has been very vulnerable territory for you with the 4 Pentacles. I also think that You're potentially in a situation where you're in a love relationship that a huge basis of it is related to security. Okay. And there's something you're looking at here. That's just blue on top of those cards there. So let's see what this brings in. Yeah, I think you were forced with making a decision, and it has something to do with matters of the heart. I got love vibes here very strongly. This had something to do with a soulmate connection. And with this lovers coming in headed south, I think this is related to a past love. I feel like that's what's really coming through here. And I felt like this sense of you, like, you know, sort of having your boundaries around something, having your boundaries around something that's very special to you and something you've been emotionally processing. I also feel like you've been trying to make sense of your feelings. And so you've been taking some space to yourself to kind of dive into those emotions, also tune into your intuition, and really turn the reflection inwardly. I think there's been like a lot of really deep, you know, subconscious, also repressed stuff, potentially trauma that you've been processing around this. And, you know, you've also kind of had a lot of blocking energy here. You know, I feel like the heart space also blocked, a lot of self-protection around this. I feel whatever this was, though, with this coming up in reverse, the way it did, this blockage is now done. You've made a choice in this situation. Okay, you've made a choice in this situation. I see this is a choice that you likely came to a conclusion with the recent Leo new moon that came in. All right, so there might be something very significant that comes through for you that just sort of like wraps up this karmic cycle very cleanly. On the September 14th new moon in Virgo. That's what I'm getting with this here. All right, let's see. What is this decision that Pisces is reaching here with this lunar cycle? I feel this really culminates for you with the blue supermoon, right? There's something here that really comes to a place of emotional completion. I just got, and this fell on the ground. Yeah, there's something that you will not be moving forward with. You're leaving it in the past. Oh my gosh, I got so much sentience. So much sentience. There's something that you are releasing from the past. Okay, you're not waiting for this to come in anymore. The Three of Wands fell on the floor. There's something here with the Seven of Swords. There's like a component of this that feels unethical, is what came through. Unethical. Ooh, yes. And somebody actually may be going through some kind of trial in relation to this. Okay, that's what I got. It comes through as a trial. I feel like it's like an initiatory gateway. You know, there's some kind of straightening by fire happening here. There's some kind of spiritual lesson being learned about the uses of power. There's a trickery aspect to this too. There's a lot of trickster medicine that's coming through in this, and the ties that bind. All right. And somebody is being weighed up in the balance here. All right. We see this. We got the Seven of Swords coming in with the Devil. Okay. This tie that was a binding here, like this is being released. All right. There's some kind of breaking of the ties that bind. That's what I'm getting with the Seven of Swords. Okay. And this is your energy, Pisces. It is your energy. The Hangman with the Queen of Cups. All right. So there's some kind of like taking the hands off of it. Somebody's hung up right now. All right. And they're like, you know, they're going to have to be put on pause for a little bit. That's what I got. There's some kind of integrating of some kind of lesson here. This is a time for spiritual cleansing. This is a time for healing old grief. This is a time for healing the letting go, the release. It's like a clearing out of old energy here. We have the star, okay? The star to the 9 of Swords to the 8 of Cups. All right, so this is like cleansing away something that has caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of grief, a lot of old, it reminds me of like old reflection work, I have to say. Like maybe you've had some like repressed trauma surfacing. Maybe you've even been working through something in the dream state, something you've been clearing out. There's some kind of real deep healing that's been going on here. All right. Any further clarification on this before I move to another deck for Pisces? I think you're in this process, okay? And it's interesting because this is what crossed over. And I think this is good. Whatever process you've been going through with this has been like a real clearing out. It's gone really deep, all right? And at times I get that it might have felt super swimmy as well. I'm getting like Neptunian vibes, like on, you know, a magnified scale. Like I could see how this energy could be very slippery. I can feel how this energy could be very elusive, very mutable, you know, constantly shifting, changing, but in different ways than what you've been familiar with. And we have to really look at that because, you know, you had Saturn and Pisces, and I mean, you got a little bit of a reprieve from that right now, but it won't be long before that comes back in. I feel like this time right now is like sort of where things are balancing out. But in the spring, you'll really understand the value of this. Like you'll understand the value in all of this release work, all this cleansing, all this, you know, spiritual testing is really what it is. And it's also about ethics. It's about the uses of power, right? Holding power in a balanced way. It's also cleansing, purifying the self, right? There's some kind of spiritual cleansing that's happening here. It brings a new beginning for you in the springtime. And there's some kind of blessing that happens as a result of what you clear away here. And that's beautiful energy, all right? So this is something that's very directly related to your growth. It's also related to your material growth. Like this is very much coming into harmony with your ability to really generate abundance moving into the future. Has everything to do with this work that you're doing now, this spiritual work, this emotional clearing work. And it just has a lot to do with, I got like how you identify yourself according to who you were at one stage in your life, and getting a different perception of who you are now, how that's gone through this maturation process, and a need to really look at your circumstances, at your life, at your situations through a different set of eyes, okay? Kind of the deck energy here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, you're in hermit mode, okay? You also, you know, you could have Virgo rising. You could have a significant Virgo placement in Pisces, okay? You could have a significant Virgo placement, you know, in Neptune or Jupiter. Okay? These are also like ruling planets of Pisces. Yes, you know, maybe even some of you is Vedic Virgos, okay? So maybe some Libras might relate to this, or if you have strong Libra placements in Pisces. I feel like this is what you're doing, you know? You're really wrapping up this cycle, and I see you staying focused on this at least through the end of September, leading up to the fall. I think there is some kind of reward for this karmic balancing. This is kind of like, that's what I got. Some of this is paying of debt, and some of it is like, you know, really doing that work of clearing off karma so there can be a balance of the scales, a balancing of the scales. This brings some kind of reward for doing this work. Some kind of reward comes in the fall with the fall equinox, but it doesn't really see its full fruition until the spring. All right, but you got a little clue of it there. All right. I'm getting with the September 29th supermoon that will be coming in in the sign of Aries, you get your clue. You get your clue about what this new beginning will be in the spring. There's something that really gets dialed in there, okay? Yeah, and then you're going to know what your way forward is with the Chariot here. But right now, I really feel like you got your hands off of it. You notice that the Chariot here doesn't move forward. Doesn't move forward by the, you know, reins of, you know, the person who's the rider, okay? In fact, they've released the reins to the riddle, okay? You got a lot of riddle, kind of trickster, kind of something hidden. It's got coyote medicine all over it, sort of like, you know, the coyote creates stories and then they chase their own tail. And but it's part of like the medicine, right? Some of you may be on more like kind of shamanic oriented paths. Okay, coyote medicine is very common amongst those who work with shamanism, shamanic practices. This also might be part of like your ancestral bloodline. All right, so you might want to look into the shamanic practices of your ancestral bloodlines. Okay, there might be like some piece there for you to dive a little deeper into. I think you're kind of going through an initiation into a deeper level of your skills as well. Anytime there's like a deeper level of initiation, not only is there a clearing of old traumas and stuff, and also, you know, balancing out things, but there can additionally be, you know, a lot of tests, challenges in the environment, things that activate you, things that trigger you, things that really like bring up those old ghosts, the old demons, you know what I'm saying? That stuff that you've always wrestled with. And it's about understanding the uses of power in balancing that out, right? To not act from the shadow when you're encountering the shadow, but instead to really bring the shadow into the light, much like that mother in that barge in the Six of Swords is like watching over the child as they're moving through the pain, as they're moving through the trauma. They're not abandoning them in the process. The mother in that way is acting as the light. And I feel like that's the same thing that's being activated in you. That makes sense because even though this blue supermoon in Pisces on the 29th will be going down in your sign, technically it's all going down in the sector of the sky that's all about Cancer. Okay, it's going down in the constellation of Cancer. So that mama energy is there. And so that's also like part of your remedy at this time is really invoking the mama in you, but over the little one inside as you move through this emotional terrain is super important. It's a very essential part of this process. What do I feel called? I feel called toward like sweet energy for you. I don't know why, but I do. Yes, you are resolving something in relation to the past, and it could be around a Leo. It could be around the mother with the Empress being here. It could be something around your creativity, your creative voice. Maybe this is how you're processing the past. Maybe you're processing it through your creativity, something you do creatively. It might be also how you view yourself creatively. Do you downplay your creative gifts, your creative talents? Maybe you're starting to even get some attention for your creative gifts, and maybe you're bumping up against a place inside of yourself where sometimes you feel like, oof, you know, it's kind of hard to have a spotlight on me. It's kind of hard to have some attention, you know. I think you're like lovingly guiding yourself through this, you know. I also feel like you might have had some anger you've been clearing out recently as well. This is about really tempering that part of you, holding space for that anger in a loving way, letting it be cleared out in a loving way. Some of you might be going through some kind of therapy around this. I feel like if you're going through some kind of therapy around this, there's something that's more like kind of like other level about this, right? It's not like talk therapy. It's not. It's more like spiritual therapy. Ted just said yes to that. It could be shamanic therapy. You might be doing some kind of soul retrieval work. You might be calling soul parts back. You might be looking into this. And again, this could have something to do with a Leo, right? Leo energy coming in. There's something you're bringing into balance here. It could also have something to do with a Taurus, Libra. You could have strong Taurus or Libra placements in your chart, all right? All right, let's see. What else wants to come in for Pisces? I kind of want to focus on this new beginning that comes in for you. So it can sort of like act as the light as you're moving through this cycle, because it looks like right now you're kind of releasing and going through some heavy stuff, just doing some clearing, preparing to really step into a new chapter of your life. Yeah, there's some resistance around this. There's resistance around the closure. There is. You got a little resistance around the closure of an old cycle. Maybe you feel like there's things that remain unsaid. Maybe you feel like there's some truths that need to be spoken, or some kind of air that needs to be cleared in this situation. You got a little resistance around it, around shutting this door. You have resistance around it. That's what I got. Okay, so let's see what this is about for Pisces. Let's look at, okay, we'll look into it a little bit more, Spirit. Yeah, this could be with the King of Wands energy. Leo already came up, but that could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in reverse, okay? In reverse. Interesting. You know, normally when the King of Wands is upright, you know, it's a real independent energy. It's like a free agent kind of energy, but this King of Wands is in reverse. So this could have something to do with the King of Wands that maybe is with somebody, is in a commitment. You could also feel like maybe you've been dealing with somebody that stirs up this anger in you. They provoke anger in you for some reason. It could be a fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Maybe somebody you feel is really selfish. Somebody you feel isn't considering your needs, your feelings, your voice in the situation, or even just you. You know, maybe you feel insulted by this person in some way. This is what's coming through. Masculine. It's an issue with masculine in this situation. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. What is this about? Yeah. You're not happy about this. Again, Leo significator. It's in reverse. And there's the childhood piece again. Some desire for joy, you know, some sweetness. Could even be love. La Chuparosa. La Chuparosa is the hummingbird deity that rules over soulmates. Maybe coming to the realization that somebody isn't your soulmate. You thought they were, they're not. This could have something to do with some kind of wish fulfillment gone awry. Okay. With the 9 of Cups to the 8 of Swords. It shows that you're not seeing something here. There's something that needs to be seen clearly. There's also something that's very binding here. And I did pick up that message before. Like there's like a release of ties that bind. You need to go outside, Ted? Yeah. Somebody's wanting out. Somebody's wanting out. It's sort of like you're wanting out. You're not wanting to feel confused anymore. You're not wanting to feel stuck anymore. Something that you thought would give you happiness is making you feel stuck. It's like, be careful what you wish for energy, okay? Yeah. This is what was hoped for. Oh, man, yeah. Wow, the way that came out. Yep, this is what was hoped for. We see this. If wishes were horses, the dreamer would ride. Soul contract. This is about a soul contract. It relates to a dream around a King of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Hoping for commitment from this person. Hoping for like some kind of new beginning. Something, you know, that would endure. Devil energy. Devil energy. There's a lot that's hidden in this situation. There's a lot of glamour in this situation. There's binding in this situation. In some cases, some people who move like this, there could even be actual binding work that's been done in this situation. See if Ted's ready to come back in. He's not. I'm going to leave the door open for him. There he comes. Well, leave the door open for him. Maybe you've always left the door open for this person. Maybe that's the door you really do need to shut. Look at this Wheel of Fortune. Look at that. Oh my God. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. If you want to turn in fortune, karmic balance and justice, and the judgment in this situation that gives peace and release and victory is to shut that door. Shut the door. It's time to shut the door. It's time to turn the page. Yep. And here comes Ted in, okay? One moment here. What's wrong, Teddy? Okay, that's really wild because when Ted came in this door, another door opened. All right, so that's what's going on. All right, you're shutting one door so you can open a new one. All right, but there's some kind of grief and there's heartache and there's been a lot of anxiety around this situation. Yep, you're cutting something off. You're no longer viewing this as moving forward in this direction. It's been blocked with the Two of Wands. You see how they're crossed? Normally they're like side by side when it's like clear view forward. In fact, this card came forward for you with the other deck I was using, okay? And it was open. So we know at one point you were viewing going in this direction, but now you're closing this port, okay? You know that's not the way to go. This requires discernment. It requires you to really remember the lessons of the past. It's 27:27 on the clock, 9/9, 18, 9. I mean, this is like spiritual work. You're closing a very powerful karmic cycle. And this is very important because we know that in you doing this work, you find karmic balance, okay? You get a turn of fortune that actually brings you a lot of peace. And you're exercising wise judgment in this situation, right? So you are watched over in this, and it brings victory and success for you, okay? So there's something that you're really overcoming here. And it's actually really beautiful. Of course, with your blue supermoon, this is like, this is all deep spiritual soul tie kind of work, right? Yeah. And this is what you're focusing on right now. I see that you're in a process of transformation. Right now you're here. You had this come up again, okay? So you're still like, you're in this space. You're like, okay, this is one that I need to like just really sink in, drop in with. So I'm going to just take this space for myself to integrate this experience. I'm closing one cycle. I'm stepping into another. It's a big process for me. And, you know, it's important that you take the time for this. Okay, anything else you want to tell Pisces in regard to this situation, Spirit? And then we'll look at what's coming in for you, and I'm going to get a brand new deck. Or maybe I'll look at spiritual guidance. I'll look at spiritual guidance, and then we'll see what's coming in. Okay. We'll start putting some focus on the future. I mean, it's interesting as I say that. The new dream, you know, the new vision. It's like when we let go of one dream, we don't stop dreaming, right? We keep dreaming. And you do have a dream, you know, that you're going to move forward with. Some of you might be like writing books or something. You might be writing something. You might get some movement forward on this, air, fire factoring into this here. You might have strong air, fire placements in your chart, okay? This could be how your creativity comes through, or possibly you're working on a tarot deck. That's also possible too, okay? Could be a teaming up of air and fire on this. There's some kind of magic happening in this regard. I think you're, you know, starting to put your focus on different kinds of things. And this is like putting you more into a position of power and like self-ownership. You're moving forward with things in your life. You're not stuck anymore. But I do feel like you still have this, like this piece of yourself that's very like guarded here, you know? Your security is important to you. But I'm also getting more than anything here. You might even be bumping up against a little stubbornness. You know, it's really hard for you to let go of this new beginning you were hoping to see. It is. It's not easy for you. It's not easy for you to release this soul contract. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. You know, this is something you're really holding on to, but you know, it's got that devil energy around it. Okay. It's just got that devil energy around it. It's where it's at. You can't be your authentic self in this connection. It's kind of like how it's coming through. And I think that's what you're realizing. You know, you can't be your authentic self in this connection. And that's never an empowering place to be. Because if you can't be yourself, you can't live out loud. Right? You always have to keep a part of your heart hidden. And that doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. Let's get some angel guidance. All right. Looks like a pretty deep process here you're going through. So I want to get some angel guidance for you all. This bottom of the deck, Tower. I mean, there's been lies here. There's been some kind of deception. There's been something that, you know, there's been disruption in this situation. And right now it's all about, you know, understanding that if things continue on in that way in regard to a particular situation, that it'll lead to disaster. So this is a chance to divert said disaster and have transformation. And Uriel is here, you know, to help with that process to ensure transformation. And there's like this piece here. It's like Uriel's got the receipts. He knows what went down in this situation. He's got that sort of truth there too. And it's like, it's time to cut this off because we have to cut away what's false, what doesn't serve in order for there to be transformation in our lives, right? So let's see here. What spiritual guidance can you give Pisces moving through this process? This read is not so, shooting straight from the hip with lots of lip. It's more soft and sweet with a little less heat, okay? Because I feel like there's some tenderness around this situation. I think it's important for you to have tenderness around you right now. I don't know, I just got like a plant ally coming in for you. Is it milky oat? I want to say milky oat. Milky oat. Milk oat. I don't know what that is, okay? I'll try to do some research on it. Sometimes I get like plant medicine stuff come in and I don't, you know, even know where it's coming from. I got milky oat. You need milky oat to help with the process. I'll try to provide a link. I'll put it in the comments so I can give a little guidance about that. Milky oat. If you've been having skin issues, like itchiness, irritation, that can be like just the irritation of like you've been holding in like kind of like inflammatory feelings, inflammatory emotions, irritations. So you might want to try doing like a milky oat bath as well. You know, like you can just put some oats in a, you know, in a like a muslin pouch, and you can put it in your bath water and take a milky oat bath. Yeah, look at this, the Hangman in reverse this time, okay? So it says here, desire for knowledge protects from liars, evil spells, bad spirits, but it's in reverse. So it's interesting that I brought that in about the bath. You might want to take like just some cleansing baths, do some spiritual cleansing baths, especially if you've been doing any workings, okay? Or if you suspect that anybody's been throwing workings around towards you, right? So just doing a general energy cleansing bath can be really good. Milky is coming in, milky oat, but also I feel like a milk bath could be good for you. A white bath. White baths are purifying, but they're also like a blessing way, and that would be a really beautiful energy to bring in to help you kind of like cross this this passage. I feel could be a good way to bridge the gap. Also to hold kind of some tenderness around the feelings. Mother's milk, you know, it makes me Makes me think of mother's milk. And again, just getting the nurturing from the mother at this time. Maybe your mom is really helping you with this letting go, because we got 10 of Swords here. It says revelation protects from sadness and gives revelations in dreams. So again, you know, I do have this energy here with this Ace of Pentacles vibe. There's all the angel eyes, you know, protecting here. I do feel like there is a new beginning on the other side of this, and I don't know why, but it reminds me of the I Ching coins here. And so maybe you might benefit from casting the I Ching a bit. It really provides such excellent counsel when we're going through changes in life. I Ching, the book of changes, you toss 3 coins for guidance. And it's real deep, like spiritual guidance. It's a really beautiful means to work with divination. And it's so helpful when you're going through stuff like this. But I also feel like this is saying, like, yes, this is hard, this hurts, this letting go, it hurts. But at the same time, with this letting go that hurts, there's a new beginning that's protected as a result. And it's sort of like, this is your true reward, you know? And you'll have a revelation about this. And once you really see this and you see it clearly, then you're protected from any sadness that it comes as a result of that letting go. Okay. And you might have a lot of this, like, kind of coming in through your dreams. You might be getting a lot of spiritual guidance in your dreams around this. Okay. But there's definitely like a closing of a cycle, and there's a need to energetically cleanse, spiritually cleanse, purification coming through really strongly in this situation. Final card we got here. Yeah, this is in reverse. The Lover's in reverse. Okay. So we know there's been a choice that's been made. It seems like it's about a soul contract. It's about a soulmate relationship. And this is a choice to, like, go separate ways. That's what this is about. Okay. I feel like it's weird. It's got like Hall of Mirrors kind of vibe to it to me. Let me sit with this energy for a minute. It's got like 5D vibes to it. You might have been working out a lot of this, like, other dimensionally. And I know it's not out there to say that to Pisces. You know? It's got that feel to it. The hands. I think you've been doing a lot of prayer. You've been connecting with prayer a lot around this. Praying for strength. There's a reverence around it too. I think you're just like clearing out the last remnants of this, and then you're getting to the other side with this new beginning. Yes. And it says here, mental force, bottom of the deck energy. This is your work. And isn't this wild? The 3 of Pentacles, bottom of the deck energy. The 3 coins of the I Ching. You might want to pick up the I Ching. And if you haven't worked with it before, work with it. It's so helpful for things like this. Mental force protects against sorrows and illness. This is really about staying balanced, not getting caught up by the apparitions of the past, remembering that you're not who you were. You're not who you were that you see when you go through those corridors through your subconscious and you look at the reflections of who you were back then. You're not the same person. It's not the same scenario. You may have been casting illusion around you in relation to this. there's something that you're getting a hold of here, I feel. And it's requiring that you're very decisive, that you're very focused, that you're very present, that you're very clear. And what you've done, if you've been questioning, did I do the right thing? You absolutely did. Okay. You did the right thing. It is the right choice to close cycle on this. It leads to your new beginning. All right. So I feel compelled to get the super awesome future cards out because your read it's a bit somber. And I feel like there is a lot that you're healing on a really deep level, and it's sensitive stuff. All right. So I want to be respectful of that. And I also want to help build the light. All right. Because look, you've been here for a long time, man. All right. You've been trying to find the balance between your head and your heart. This is the piece that's been missing, man, is really releasing the grief, like really going deeply into the grief. Look at the school bus. This is old stuff, okay? And with the chicken energy here, maybe it's something that maybe you've been too chicken to really look at it before, but you're looking at it now, all right? I think you've been lugging this around with you for too long. It's time to like step out of that old identity. You're not there anymore. It's like an apparition that's attached to you. Maybe lovingly, release that story from the past and face your fears and move forward, move forward very clearly in who you are now. Okay. With confidence. With confidence in who you are now. Okay. Yeah, move on forward. Take your head out of the damn sand, man. Look straight ahead. Look at where you're freaking going. Tune into the compass rose of your heart. See things clearly, all right? You're heading on a road. After you close this old cycle, you're heading on a road that leads you to home, to where you belong, where you know you belong, This is moving forward rapidly. Once you close this old cycle, you move forward rapidly. You might even be going on some kind of trip, okay? It's a trip that really changes everything for you. It makes you realize that, you had home right with you all along, Sometimes it can be really scary to step into home, This is what we got here, breakup is the crossing influence. And I feel like that's what you're in a process of doing right now. You're in the process of this. You can't, continue to straddle the lines. It's like you need to hop timelines. You can't just stay with 1 foot on the past and 1 foot in the future. You can't do that. You got to get present enough to turn this energy upright. That's what it takes to move out of the crossroads. You got to get present, and you got to make the choice. And I see you making it. There's something you're breaking up with. There's something you're leaving behind. You're not part of any rescue effort for these people as far as you're concerned, because you just need to leave this behind in order for you to have your sense of peace. You're not here to clean up this wreckage. You don't want to deal with this mess anymore. And you are moving forward. Look at this. You got the sailboat here, moving into calmer waters, which really, again, reflects that energy of the Six of Swords. You're moving into calmer waters, but here's what I have to say. Now's the time to really clear your grief, because you don't want to take the swords with you into your calmer waters. So it's time to cleanse, cleanse, release. All right, let's see here. I just heard You Can Go Your Own Way, that song. Yeah, you can go your own way. There's a lot of temptation in this situation. You still got a lot of temptation in this situation. And it's very purposeful, okay? It's very purposeful. It's very important that you stay connected to your higher wisdom in this situation, because you got snakes in the grass around you. You do. You do. You do. There's snakes in the grass in this situation. It's to try to drive apart what's meant to be together. And there's something you really need to be mindful of here. Some of these snakes are your subconscious, because if you look at this right here, okay, there's these shadow snakes that are right next to these two visible snakes here. And I feel like the shadow, it's giving me like shadow boxing vibes, okay? It could be your own fears. Your own fears in coming up and out with a secret. That's what's up. And these may be secret feelings that you haven't been willing to acknowledge, something you haven't been willing to see before. This is also about the uses of power, because this is out of balance when it's upside down, right? And we do see here with the scarab, you know, something has reached the end of its purpose. I mean, the scarab is about eternal life, you know, but when it's in reverse, like, no, this is done. And there's no more time for secrets, you know. It's time to break up with this. The temptation, the, you know, the manipulations, you know, anything that brings this kind of energy into your life where it's not clear and it causes stress and anxiety and disruption, it's not worth it. Okay? You're better off on your own, you know, when dealing with stuff like that, you know. Better to be a cat lady. Again, could be in relation to a Leo, all right? Somebody with strong Leo placement in their chart. I think you're just like, I'm cool, you know. Oh, okay, cut of the deck energy. Yeah, you know, it's a choice. I feel like you're still in this place. I have to be honest with you. You're still in testing. That's why you're in the hangman, man. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. You want happiness, and happiness is on offer for you, but it relies on you closing a cycle with this devil. 19, that's 10. That's closing a cycle. You have to close a cycle to step into this happiness that's available for you. 8, energy, manifestation. It's abundance. It's happiness. It's what is meant for you. Wish fulfillment. All right. Or you can continue to stay in for some of you. This is not for everybody. Okay. This could be a crossed condition. Like you're so like viewing yourself in a certain way that you keep like screwing yourself over. You know, you keep telling yourself a story about what you deserve and what you don't deserve, you know, and it's all just BS. It's all just illusion. It's all just a facade, but it keeps blocking your happiness because you don't have the courage to step into it and really be seen in it and really live it out, you know. This could also be some so resistant to let go of something that they keep trying to do workings, and these workings are really backfiring. All right, they're backfiring, you know, and there's a need to like look in the mirror here, okay, in regard to that. If you are operating out of that place, that's not for everybody, okay. But there is something here. There's like karmic work that's being done in this situation. And there's definitely like this promise of happiness on the other side. But only if the work is done and only if the whole way is released. All right. This is such a wild reading. I think you're trying to really act out of pocket. You may be trying to really act out of pocket in a situation and be like, you know, no, I'm gonna do what I want. And I mean, that can, yeah, look at this, trick or treat, mischief and play. Somebody is definitely operating out of this energy. It's not healthy. You might even be teaming up with somebody on this, you know. Maybe this is what's getting you into trouble. Let's get a final kind of like overarching theme card here. I don't know why this energy is coming in for the water signs. The water signs have been interesting for a while. I think there's still some of that like, well, you know what? It's probably old stuff, though. And it is coming to a head with the supermoon. There's some of y'all. There's some of y'all that are really tempted by a certain devil. And because you are, you may like lose your head in the process. And it could have, you know, really disastrous results. So this is about really seeing things clearly. And I just saw that scene in Enter the Dragon where Bruce Lee is in the like the Hall of Mirrors, and he's trying to She's trying to find out what's the real opponent here. What is the real opponent? And this might even be about like being able to really fully come into your heart. And you may have been like, you've been smashing the illusions, you know, because Bruce, like, in order to find out where his opponent really is, he keeps like punching the mirrors so he can, you know, sort out the reflections he's seeing. And I think maybe you're not seeing somebody accurately. You're still seeing them through the eyes of the past, or you're seeing yourself through eyes of the past, or you're projecting some place inside of yourself where you're really at war with yourself on another person. And because of that, you're viewing this person as an enemy. But it's like, no, you're shadow boxing. It's got that kind of energy to it. And I know that whatever process this is, there's something really beautiful on the other side. But until you lift this veil, I can't make it up. You can't even begin to see your future. This is some deep, heavy work. It's like Persephone's dive into the underworld to dance with Hades. That's what I got. You got some connection you're trying to transform and release, and you're struggling. You're struggling. It's a temptation. I just heard better the devil you know. Yeah, I don't know. Pisces. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Winter. The sacredness of pausing. I can only deliver the message. What y'all do with it is up to you, but something here needs to be released, and the wisdom only comes when you let go and allow there to be space to get a different